Good evening. Let's continue our lesson on conceptual framework and accounting standards. And this is lecture 11 covering problem solving exercises on our topic of property, plant, and equipment. The problems that we are solving now are all those prepared by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants given in the licensure examinations in the United States. So let's take up the first problem in our textbook, and that is problem 15-1. So here is the problem. Tricia Company made the following acquisitions of properties during the year. The first one, purchase for 5,400,000 pesos, including appraisal fee of 50,000 pesos, a warehouse building, and the land on which it is located. The land had an appraised value of 2 million pesos and original cost of 1,400,000 pesos. The building had an appraised value of 3 million and original cost of 2,800,000 pesos. So this is the first property that was purchased by Tricia Company. What can you notice about this problem is that there is a purchase price of 5,400,000 pesos, and that 5,400,000 pesos includes the appraisal fee of 50,000 pesos. So the problem here is that how can we allocate the cost of the building and the cost of the land? So that is the first property purchased by Tricia Company. The second one, purchase an office building and land on which it is located for 7,500,000 pesos cash and assumed an existing 2,500,000 mortgage. So, take a look again. The second property acquired by Tricia from the former owner has an existing mortgage loan from a bank. This means this property was acquired, but it was acquired through a loan from a bank. That is why there is an existing unpaid loan of 2,500,000 pesos. This property was used as collateral. That is the meaning of that second purchase. For realty tax purposes, the property is assessed at 9,600,000 pesos, 60% of which is allocated to the building. So remember that 60%, because we will use that 60% in the allocation of the amount to be recognized as the cost of this property, this second property purchased by the company. Let's continue on the next slide, the continuation of the problem. The company acquired a tract of land in exchange for 25,000 shares of Tricia Company with 100 peso par value and a market price of 120 pesos per share on the date of the acquisition. The last property tax bill indicated assessed value of 2,400,000 pesos for the land. So in this third property acquired by Tricia, we can apply the accounting standards regarding the acquisition of property wherein the company did not pay cash but instead Tricia Company issued shares of stocks. The question here is what will be the basis for the amount of cost to be recognized in the statement of financial position. Question number 1. What is the total cost of the land? So we have 4 choices. The answer to this question actually is letter A, 9,160,000 pesos. I will present on the succeeding slides how we arrive at 9,160,000 pesos answer to question number 1. Question number 2. What is the total cost of the building? The answer here is 9,240,000 pesos. I will present in these succeeding slides on how we arrive at the answer of letter B, 9,240,000 pesos. Let's now proceed with the solutions. So here is the solution for problem 15-1, AICPA adapted, meaning prepared by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. So before we proceed in answering questions 1 and 2, let's compute the allocation of cost of land and building. Let's take up first the property that was acquired, and that is the warehouse, and the warehouse is erected in a piece of land. So that is the first property acquired by Tricia Company. So the appraised value of the land in this particular property is 2 million. The appraised value of the building is 3 million. So the total appraised value of the warehouse and land is 5 million pesos. You may be wondering why we are discussing this appraised value. Because appraised value will not be the basis in determining the cost of this property in the balance sheet. We are just showing this appraised value for us to create a fraction. What are we going to do with this fraction? The fraction for the land is 2/5, while the fraction for the building is 3/5. We will use this fraction for the allocation of the cost of the land and building to be recognized in the statement of financial position or balance sheet. So here we go. The land is 2/5. The building is 3/5. That fraction for land of 2/5 will be multiplied by 5,400,000 pesos. That 5,400,000 pesos is the cash price of the property. In the same manner, the 3/5 fraction for building will be multiplied by the cash price of 5,400,000 pesos, because according to the accounting standards, the basis is the cash price of the property. So, the amount allocated for land is 2 million 160,000 using the fraction that we created based on the appraised value of the land and building, and the amount allocated to building is 3,240,000 pesos. So that is how we allocate the 5,400,000 pesos purchase price of the warehouse and land. Next, what is the journal entry to record the acquisition? Debit, land, 2,160,000 pesos. We used the allocated amount using the appraised value fraction that we created. Debit, building, 3,240,000 pesos, and credit cash, 5,400,000 pesos. So that is the entry to recognize the assets. Next, let's proceed to the second property acquired by Tricia Company, and that is the office building and the land. The cash paid for the acquisition of this land and office building is 7,500,000 as given in the problem. The mortgage assumed by Tricia Company is 2,500,000. At again, I will explain what do you mean by this mortgage assumed by Tricia. The former owner of this property borrowed money from the bank to purchase this property. There may be reasons why they decided to sell the property to Tricia Company. There may have some financial problems. We do not know why they sold that property. So when Tricia Company acquired the property, Tricia knows from the start that the former owner has an existing loan with the bank, and the balance of that loan is 2,500,000. It is called mortgage payable because this property was used as collateral to the loan. So, the remaining balance of the loan to the bank is 2,500,000. When Tricia acquired the property, Tricia will assume this liability. Meaning, when Tricia acquired this property, it carries the liabilities or the mortgage payable of 2,500,000 pesos. That is why, if we are going to add the cash paid by Tricia and the mortgage assumed, meaning Tricia will be the one to pay the loan in the future. So when we get the total amount of property acquired is 10 million pesos. The next question is, how are we going to allocate the 10 million pesos for the building and the land acquired by Tricia? It is not given in the problem. What is given is the cash paid and the mortgage assumed. What has been given in the problem is the 60% allocation for the assessed property for tax purposes. Meaning, we will use that 60% in allocating the 10 million. So, let's allocate the 10 million acquisition cost. 60% is allocated for the office building that is given in the problem. For tax purposes, 60% is allocated for the building. And we will use that 60% for the allocation of 10 million. Therefore, the office building is 6 million pesos. If office building is 60%, therefore the land is 40%. So the amount assigned to land is 4 million pesos. So we have a total acquisition cost of 10 million pesos. What is the entry to record this acquisition? Debit building, 6 million pesos. The amount that we allocated using 60%. Debit land, 4 million pesos. That is 40%. Credit cash, 7,500,000 the amount of cash paid by Tricia Company and credit mortgage payable of 2 million pesos, 2,500,000 pesos, the loan assumed by Tricia Company from the former owner. So this is the entry for the second property. The third property acquired by Tricia is the tract of land. This acquisition is an acquisition through issuance of share capital or shares of stocks. So in this acquisition, we will apply the accounting standard for the acquisition of a property in exchange for the shares of stocks. According to the standard, we will use the fair value of the share capital because the fair value of the land is not available. So let's prepare journal entry to allocate the value of the land. Debit, land, 3 million pesos. Our basis, according to the standard, is the fair value. The fair value of the 25,000 shares issued by Tricia for this property is 120 pesos. That is why 3 million pesos is the resulting amount for the acquisition cost of the land because we use the fair value of the share capital. And credit, share capital, 2,500,000 pesos. In this case, we use the par value of the shares issued by Tricia. And the par value is 100 pesos. That is why 100 pesos multiplied by 25,000 shares, that is 2,500,000, and the difference between the par value and the fair value is the premium on share capital of 500,000 pesos. So that is the amount allocated for land on the third property acquired by Tricia. Let's continue. Let's now answer question number 1. What is the total cost of the land? The land allocated for the warehouse is 2,160,000 pesos. So the land of the office building is 4 million pesos as we computed in the previous slides. And the land acquired in exchange for share capital is 3 million pesos. So the total cost of the land in this particular transactions is 9,160,000 pesos, and that is letter A. Question number 2. What is the total cost of the building? Let's compute. The cost of the warehouse as we computed in the previous slides is 3,240,000 pesos. The cost of the office building, representing 60% of the total cost, is 6 million pesos. So the total cost of the building is 9,240,000 pesos, and that is letter B. Now, let's proceed to the second problem, 15-2. Also, this problem was prepared by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and adopted here in the Philippines. Bamco Company purchased a new machine on a deferred payment basis. When you say deferred payment, that is on installment basis. A down payment of 100,000 pesos was made, and 4 monthly installments of 250,000 pesos are to be made at the end of each month. So the 250,000 will be paid every month for 4 months. The cash equivalent price of the machine was 950,000. The entity incurred and paid installation cost of 30,000 pesos. Let's analyze the problem and let's apply the accounting standard. According to standard, if the property was acquired on installment basis, the basis for the amount to be recognized in the balance sheet is the cash price. So in this case, the cash price is 950,000 pesos, but the entity incurred and paid installation cost of 30,000 pesos. The question is, what is the amount to be capitalized as cost of the machine? So the answer to this question is 980,000 pesos, letter B. Let's proceed to the next slide for you to see the computations on how we arrive at 980,000 pesos. So here is the solution. What is the amount to be capitalized as cost of the machine? Let's compute. The cash price of the machine is 950,000. According to the standard, installation cost should be included in the cost of the machine, and that 30,000 should be added. Therefore, the total cost of the machine is 980,000 pesos, and that is letter B. So this is the answer to this problem. But we are not supposed to be contented in arriving at this answer. We must always practice the principle of out of the box thinking. So we will go beyond the computation of the cost, meaning we must know the journal entry. Take note, as an auditor and as an accountant, for every transaction or scenario that you encounter, you must always determine the journal entry. You must know the journal entry for every scenario, every transaction, and every event that is happening in the business. So in this particular case, what is the journal entry? We are not supposed to be contented with the 980,000 answer that we arrived. So the journal entry is debit, machinery, 980,000 pesos. That is the amount that we computed. And we will credit accounts payable 1 million pesos. That is the 250,000 pesos installment payment for 4 months. So that is why 250,000 was multiplied by 4. Our accounts payable is 1 million pesos. And credit cash, 1,100,000 pesos. How much is the cash price of the machine? It is well explained in the chapter that we discussed, that the cash price of the machine is 980,000, meaning to say that is the amount that you will pay for the machine if you will purchase it by cash. In this case, we acquire it by installment. So, what is the installment price? The installment price actually is 1,100,000. According to the standard, the difference between the installment price and the cash price will be recorded as interest expense. That is why the entry is debit machinery, 980,000 pesos, debit interest expense, 120,000 pesos, credit accounts payable, 1 million pesos, and credit cash representing the down payment of 100,000 pesos. So this is the out of the box thinking that we are practicing in accounting. You are not supposed to be contented that you got the correct answer. You must always think beyond the answer. And thinking beyond the answer in accounting and auditing is knowing the journal entries relating to the transaction. Next, let's proceed to the last problem. Another problem prepared by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants adapted here in the Philippines. So Jaya Company entered into a contract to acquire a new machine which had a cash price of 2 million pesos. So here are the details of this acquisition. The down payment is 400,000 pesos. The cash paid by Jaya Company. And then the company executed a promissory note for the installment. So there is an equal annual installment. 3 years equal annual installment of 1,200,000 pesos. That means 400,000 every year. And then the company issued 20,000 ordinary shares with a par value of 25 pesos per share and fair value of 40 pesos per share. So what can you notice in this problem? This is a combination of a machine acquired by installment. At the same time, the company issued shares of stocks for the acquisition. So this is a combination of acquisition by installment and issuance of shares of stocks. So the ordinary shares has a par value of 25 pesos and fair value of 40 pesos. You have 800,000. Why 800,000 pesos? Because we used the fair value of 40 pesos per share. Because according to the standard, in case of acquisition of a property through the issuance of shares of stocks, the fair value should be used. So the total of these figures is 2,400,000 pesos. Next. Prior to use, installation cost of 50,000 pesos was incurred. The machine has an estimated residual value of 100,000 pesos. What is the initial cost of the machine? So we have 4 choices. The answer to this question is very easy. 2,050,000 pesos. Let's proceed to the next slide to see the solution, how we arrive at 2,050,000 pesos. So the cash price of the machine is 2 million pesos. We will add installation cost 50,000 pesos. Why? According to the standard, 50,000 pesos installation cost should be included in the recognition of the machine. What do you think is the logic why we include the installation cost? Because the machine will not run. The machine will not put into operation without installation. That is why installation cost is significant for the machine to run and be used in operations. That is why it is included. So the total is 2,050,000 pesos, and that is letter C. Again, we know the answer. The answer is letter C. 2,050,000 pesos. In accounting and auditing, we must practice out of the box thinking. Meaning, we are not supposed to be contented with the answer. We must imagine, or we must explore what is the journal entry behind this transaction. And knowing the journal entry, which is not part of the problem, is part of the out of the box thinking. So what are the journal entries? Debit, machinery, 2,050,000 pesos. That is the amount that we computed. Credit cash, 450,000 pesos. What is that 450,000 pesos? 400,000 pesos is the down payment and 50,000 pesos is the installation cost. And then notes payable, 1,200,000 pesos. And credit ordinary share capital, because this transaction or acquisition of property is a combination of installment, purchase, and issuance of shares of stocks. What can you notice? We use the par value. 25 pesos multiplied by 20,000 shares, that is 500,000 pesos. Actually, the fair value that was given in the problem when we are going to use 40 pesos multiplied by 20,000 is 800,000 pesos. So the difference between 800,000 pesos and 500,000 pesos is the premium on ordinary share capital of 300,000 pesos. If we will add the credit side, the total will be 2,450,000 pesos. So the difference of that amount with the debit side of machinery of 2,050,000 is the interest expense of 400,000 pesos. Because according to the standard, the difference between the cash price and the installment price will be treated as interest expense. So this is out of the box thinking. And we reconstructed the journal entry to satisfy ourselves about the application of accounting standards in this particular problem. So let's continue. I have some explanations. Aside from the cash price, basis for the costing is the fair value of ordinary shares. That is why we created a premium of 300,000 in the journal entry. As I expressed while explaining the journal entry, the fair value of the ordinary shares is 800,000, while the par value is 500,000. That is why we have a premium of 300,000. So aside from the cash price, we included in the costing the amount of shares of stocks that we issued in acquiring the machine. Residual value was ignored because it is being used for computation of depreciation only. You are not supposed to be bothered by the residual value. It is not included in this problem, in the solution to this problem. So the problems presented in this lecture were all taken from the book written by Balix, Peralta and Balix, entitled Conceptual Framework and Accounting Standards 2020 edition. The solutions to the problems are provided by the lecturer. Explanations in italics are likewise provided by this lecturer. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching this lecture, the last part of property, plant, and equipment. Thank you again, and I just want to send a second reminder that always practice out of the box thinking in auditing and accounting, meaning you must know the entry for every transaction, events, and scenario that you may encounter. In this way, you can satisfy yourself that every transaction is substantiated. Thank you very much and good evening.